last week on the Nicoletti Show. Colleen, great to see you. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Your energy is amazing, so you're getting me excited.
A lot of people forget, you may be in insurance, but you're a business owner. When you have people that are depending on you, how are you able to sustain that energy?
So I try to exercise every day to keep my energy up. I don't smoke. I don't drink a lot. I try to limit caffeine. I try to do something positive for myself every day. Only if it's 10 minutes, it's better than nothing.
I agree with everything you said. The only thing is I'm not abiding by the caffeine thing tonight.
We're still in what they called a hard market, meaning underwriting's hard, pricing's hard.
What do people need to know, Colleen, about the insurance side of things and where things stand right now?
The claims aren't really what makes the prices go up. It's the lawsuits. It's like I always say, there's 3 steps here to the insurance crisis: fraud, litigation, and responsibility, and being irresponsible.
What Colleen's basically saying is, hey, this is where the market's at right now, and the market in Florida is still hot. Yeah, you're going to be paying maybe a little bit more on the insurance, but these are also great properties.
Take care of your properties and be safe out there, because you never know what could happen. It only takes an instant.
Thank you, Colleen, so much for coming on the Nicoletti Show. Another fantastic episode last week on the show. If you missed any of that episode, scan the QR code at the top of the screen. You'll get our entire link tree, everything from the Nicoletti Show and all the content on YouTube and all the social channels on probate, quiet title, and all the messy stuff that we get into. You don't want to miss it. Tons of content is out there. Lots of information, lots of value that you can implement so you guys all can get deals and learn more about all this stuff that's out there. So we are live another Wednesday night in the studio. You know we are always bringing the best guests, and I am so happy to have my friend Glenn Schworm come on the show today. I love this guy. Every time I see him, he's just full of energy, lots of life, brings value, and he's ready to get down to it. Straight shooter, and I love his style. And so we are going to dive in with Glenn on the real estate. And before I do, I got to tell you, I know all of you out there are watching, listening, and we want to make sure that you get your value too. So if you're watching and you got a question for the guest, drop it, comment, interact. That's what it's all about. And take notes. The thing is that you want to get the most out of the show by taking the notes and then reviewing the notes and implementing them later. That's key. And I take notes during the show because I want to ask even more questions to the guests that I didn't know before they came on. So ask your questions. I got my pen. I got my paper. I'm ready. Let's rock this thing. Hey, everybody. My name is Al Nicoletti. I'm an attorney here in Florida, and welcome to the Al Nicoletti Show, where I bring on real estate super investors, rising rock stars, movers and shakers, and leaders of clubs in their communities that educate, entertain, and inspire all things on Florida real estate and bringing the best in the game to you, no matter where they are, in Florida, in Oregon, in California, Ohio, whatever market they're in. I'm going to bring in people that can provide value to you on how you can take your company to the next level. On my show today, I have my good friend Glenn Schworm. I met Glenn at Family Mastermind, and every time I see him, he's always got a smile on his face. He's always working on a project. He's working on a bunch of different things, and he is just so knowledgeable about our industry. He's been in this for so many years, and he brings that knowledge and energy to help pour into others, because he's not just doing stuff on coaching or flipping or anything like that. He's doing things in the day-to-day. He's actually in real estate deals with his team, and he's built out such an amazing team that they're killing it right now. And you want to learn from people like Glenn, because this is what it's about. Learn from the best in the industry, because when you learn from people like Glenn, it helps you out there. So I'm excited to bring Glenn on the show. This is going to be an amazing episode. Let's welcome him on the show. Glenn, there he is.
Hey, brother, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm ready for you, and we all are ready for you.
Well, you bring a lot of energy, man. You set the bar high, so I'm ready. Let's rock and roll. I'm excited.
Let's go. Let's go right through the screen. Glenn, for those that don't know, how did you get into this industry, and just a little background about you?
Boy, I have been an entrepreneur. So as we're talking today here, I'm 56 years old. I started my entrepreneur journey at 19. Opened my first company at 19 years old. So 37 years now I've been an entrepreneur. And as people don't always know this part of the story, but when I was, around 20, I bought my first 2 rental properties. And I did what's called the simple assumption back in the 80s. Now, I know some of your listeners weren't even born yet, right? So, but it is what it is, right? So I bought these houses and I thought I was really going to kill it. They weren't in the best area of town and they weren't paying rent. Long story short, lost them both to foreclosure. Had a rough patch, man. Lost them both. I actually went bankrupt 3 times when I was in my early 20s. I mean, got the crap kicked out of me, right? And people don't always know that, but I mean, I know what it's like to be broke. So broke I couldn't even afford to pay attention, let alone pay any bills, right? So it was a tough time. And so I put it on hold for a number of years. And long story short, I was in other businesses and whatnot, and I always had a passion for real estate, though. Always kept coming back to it. I watched the late night TV shows. I watched the infomercials. And finally, once I bought one, I'm like, I want to do something. I meet Amber. And I go through divorce with my other wife. I meet Amber. And we decided to buy a rental property in 2003. And we thought that was the greatest thing we ever did. It was the worst decision we ever did because I didn't know what I was doing. I had no help. And I bought this rental property that was on a busy road, which is never a really great thing. It was next to a bar called the Bad Pig because a cop who was fired owned it. It was a biker bar, like Hell's Angels went there.
Wow.
It was across from a chemical plant. Next door to the Bad Pig were the railroad tracks. Behind us was a dump. And then we found out 6 months after owning it that a young man had committed in our garage, like himself. We're like, this couldn't have any more bad karma on this house. Plus, it was cobbed together. It didn't make any money. And so we tabled our real estate dreams for a couple of years because you get burned a little bit. You're like, man, here 20 years ago, I lost a bunch of them. Now here I am, and I make another bad decision. I'm like, wow, what am I doing? And so we end up deciding to flip a house. And we said, listen, I got to make a large chunk. How can we make a large chunk of money legally, right? I'm not going to sell drugs. I'm not going to pimp Amber out. I got to figure some way to do this, right? So we got to figure out how to do it. And so we go to this seminar, and there's about 8 people in the room. It's about flipping houses. This is in 2007. And the guy in the front of the room says, to be successful in real estate investing, you'll have to go in houses that she'll never go in. And he points at Amber. And I'm like, and you've seen my wife. She's beautiful, but let me tell you, that girl will get down in the dirt. She'll do what she has to do. And he didn't know that. And it was date night, so she was dressed up extra special. And we went on to we flipped our first house that year in 2007, and we went on to do over 1,250 flips in the capital region of New York. We now live on the beach in Florida, and our team still does over 100 deals a year up there with minimal involvement from me because I've built this amazing team. And that didn't happen overnight. But after 20 years of doing this, we built a company called Signature Home Buyers, and we are the dominant force in the New York market. We're going to be expanding to other cities as well, but we're doing over 100 deals a year up there. So that's a quick snapshot of kind of what we did and how we got into it. We started educating people in 2016 because people kept asking, "Can you help me? Can you help me?" And we were on news shows, and we do a lot of TV commercials, so people knew who we were, and it was like. We tried to help people one-off. And it's like, I don't have time one-off to meet people for lunch every other day. So let's put together a program. And that launched a company called Investor Pro, and that launched the home flipping workshop. So now we kind of do it all. So there you go, in a nutshell. We'll end the show now. We're done.
Yeah, no, we're just getting started with you, Glenn. Here's what's great about having you, Glenn, is that you're not just one that is trying to coach or you've done a few deals, but now you're in that guru style, right? Mm-hmm. You actually are doing deals every single day. You've been doing them for over 20 years, right? Yeah. And you've been through the bankruptcy parts. You've been through the bad investment deals. You've been through that, right? And so there's always a lot of people out there that are looking for that guidance, that mentorship, that viewpoint of experience. And you bring that. And one of the topics that I know you want to talk about is been the rise of the real estate investing guru and then separating hype from reality.
Oh, man.
You've been in this industry so long that you've seen the differences. What are some things that people need to keep aware of, be aware of and see and being able to identify in those situations?
I'll tell you this. let me just kind of give a little history on it. When Amber and I first started Vestor Pro and the home fluting workshop, the way that we got customers to come to our event was by building a 30-minute infomercial that ran on national TV. It would run on the TV stations in your local market. And these are like you turn on Sunday morning, we'd be on every station. And, we spent $100,000 over the course of 2.5, 3 weeks in just ad spend. But we built this thing from scratch. And it sold tickets to an event, and it really did really well for us. And that was in 2016. It was good right up through, through 2020, and then COVID hits, and we had to go virtual. And what all of a sudden started to happen is the barrier to entry to call yourself a professional, like to build an infomercial and then put together a valuable coaching program, that takes time and money and a lot of resources to do it right. All of a sudden, this thing gets more and more popular. Here's my beautiful wife. This is the phone, right? I wasn't showing you that, but our phone. It becomes so simple that if you have a phone, you're a coach. You can make your own videos and post. And now, with ChatGPT, you can make up fake trainings. Hey, make up a training that I'm going to give away to people, and I'm going to do that. Just yesterday, my team said, look at this one. A couple of doofuses online. They look like doofuses. They're like, hey, come follow me. I'm a real estate investor. We look closely at their logo. They misspelled the word investment because it was AI generated. It was like looking at it going, oh my God, like, how like right now AI is missing thumbs, it's missing stuff if you look carefully. But that's what we've come to is I call them nurus. There's gurus and there's nurus. And so all these people out there claiming that they are successful because the barrier to entry is so small and people don't know who to trust. And so we have actually taken a turn in our marketing just recently. We actually dug back and found a series of YouTube videos that we posted on an old channel, 40 of our first flips. We did videos of all of them. And so we look young. We're carrying our kids around with us. I'm a lot fatter back then. I've got no beard. We look so different because we're younger. And we found that our demographic is that 35 to 45 year range. That's when everybody really, the smart people in life, if you grind 35 to 45, you make the rest of your life the best of your life, right? That's really what happens. And so we are now dialing in our marketing to really target those folks because that's who we were when we got started. And I just encourage people that are out there looking right now, it's difficult to sort through the BS, but look carefully and research them. Like I love the fact that on these old videos, Al, we have all we named our videos the address of the house. You can Google those addresses. You can go on Zillow and see that we bought them. We flipped them. Like we have historical data. We were in old newspapers in 2013. Bigger Pockets, of course, right?
Yes,
Bigger Pockets. Well, I don't know if you know, Bigger Pockets has thousands of podcasts. Do you know that Amber and I were number 15?
Wow.
You can Google that and see.
Yeah.
We just hit 100 deals back then, and that's what we talked about during that podcast. And so we have historical proof that we've been around for a long time. And that's the hardest thing for me is competing with all these people that are making ad costs go through the roof because they think they're going to get rich quick by sucking cash out of people to tell them stuff they don't even know. You've done 5 deals. How are you going to compete? I mean, come on, you can't help somebody.
Right.
That's like you closing 5. I mean, you do some amazing, we work with you. So I know you do some amazing, man. You do it's amazing what you do.
Thank you.
If you haven't used Al, use him. He's fantastic. But that amazing stuff you do, you didn't learn that in your first 5 deals. The only reason you do what you do and you're so well is because you have that 10,000 hours of experience behind you. And I laugh because a lot of these gurus I see online, even the really popular ones, a few years ago, they were flipping other stuff or selling stuff online. And now I'm like, now you're selling courses to flip houses?
Right.
Come on, dude. And I know you. I'm like, what are you talking about? So that's what we're faced with right now in the market. And I don't think that's going to get much easier with AI because people are able to calm their way to the top. But I think they will quickly be sniffed out. But here's my biggest fear. The damage they do in the process is they steal people's dreams and make them think that everybody's full of crap. And then they never pursue their actual dream. And if I can just get people to listen to us, and there's a handful of us good ones out there, there's not a lot. There's a handful of us good ones. And if I can just get people to come to the right people out of the gates, I think that I can get them in the right direction. I don't know if real estate will be for them long term or not, but at least I can give you the real information to figure it out. So.
Yeah, and you nailed it with the amount of hours spent on a topic, right? Like when you've spent more than 10,000 hours on something, you've become a master of the craft. And in my industry, we've done over 1,000 probates. And
Yeah.
so it's not like, I'm the lawyer that's just done 10 and then, and that's it. And I can say, oh, we can handle, all these sorts of types. It's like you really need to be in the trenches every single day.
Oh yeah.
And,
You gotta pay your dues.
you have to. And I love that that you guys found those videos, because I think
Yes.
the best kind of videos you can have are showing people the houses, right? Like showing, like doing the walkthroughs, like talking about it. And, we've seen so many of these people have videos now where it's just a little bit of information, but it's gonna pull you in. But then you have a Glenn and Amber that's showing, no, this is the address, or this is the property. And then this is what we did. This is the before, this is the after. This is kind of what happened. It's like, walk people through it, show people this can actually happen, take them through the title company, all these things. I love that idea, because then you show the credibility behind it.
Yeah, and that's what we're working on now. That's just been a recent thing in our marketing. We're like, we got to find a way to break through, because it's getting really difficult because of all the garbage online to even be seen. We're just buried. And literally the other day, my team said, Glenn, I Googled something about real estate investing. I got hit with, he said, no lie, 50 other, we call them bros, 50 other bros online trying to sell me their crap. It's like, so anyways, it's the algorithm, it's the way it is. And so we're adapting, because I still, at my core, people think, oh, you get an education for the money. Well, if you do it right, there's not, especially today's market, there's not a lot of money in it. There can be, but there's not a lot, because if you want to do it correctly, if you want to provide real true value to people, finding them through the noise is the costliest part of all of this. It's the most expensive by a long shot. So you have to find your way through the noise, and all those people that come on and make fake things now, they're going to disappear. But the problem is they take market share when they go, and they steal people's dreams. In the meantime, people think, oh, one's took my money, they're all going to take my money.
Yeah.
So that's the hard part that we're going to fight through, and just get through it. We got to show people that there are a few good ones, few good people like us out there.
Yeah, and I've been on calls with some investors that'll say that they're thinking about getting into real estate, or they're trying to do their first deal, but they need to find the right coach, or and they're almost going through that interview process. They don't know if this person. I've heard about it, right? And so I definitely can identify with what you're talking about of separating the hype from reality in this space, which also transitions to another key core principle of our real estate space, which is trust and credibility, right? The trust and credibility crisis in the real estate investment space is it's a whole other thing. What do you see on your end, and what should people be aware of with that?
On the education space or on the investing space?
Either or, you could do both.
I think for us, so let me take you through both. Remember, I have two companies that run. So with our flipping company, I think what we battle with there is, again, competition coming out, and they come out and they promise they're going to buy a house, and they don't buy a house. They break the person's trust. Where if we give you a contract as Signature Home Buyers, we're going to sell that house for you. We're going to buy that house. However, we're going to get rid of it for you. We're going to help you through that process. And so we do everything we possibly can to make it happen. I think for us, because we've been doing it for almost 20 years, and we've been on TV for the better part of probably 12 to 14 years, something like that. And we've been on news shows. We've done charity work. People know who we are. Like Amber and I cannot go to upstate New York and have someone go, hey. Matter of fact, Al, last week, Amber was down here in Florida. We live on the beach, and she was actually on Gulf Boulevard, and she actually was getting fish from a local store, and a guy walks down with a shirt that says Saratoga. Now, that's a city from our hometown, upstate New York. She goes, hey, Saratoga. He looks at the car and goes, hey, I know you. You're the one that buys houses. And this is down here in Florida. And he looks at my kids in the back seat and says, hey, kids, sing the jingle, because they're on the commercial singing the jingle. So they built out the jingle, and he laughed. And so my point is, we have that built-in at least credibility from being on TV up there. So that, and plus we always try and do the right thing, right? We can't please everybody all the time, but we do the right thing by everybody. And I'm a huge believer in integrity. And my definition is, do what you say you're going to do. At least die trying. If it's something doesn't happen, explain what happened, but do what you say you're going to do. So that's in that space. And the other space for education, gosh, that again, very difficult to break through. But again, I think you have to stay the course and keep being you and find a way to talk to your audience. Again, we're now starting to really dial in with that 35 to 45-year-old demographic who says, okay, I'm looking, I want to find somebody, and trying to talk to them directly. That's what we're working on right now, to say, listen, we are you 10 or 15 years later. We came through this, so we're going to show you old footage so you know who we are. So if you have old footage, show them. And as best you can, build again, and we're going to show in our new marketing, we're going to be showing the old Bigger Pockets ad. Like, you've seen Bigger Pockets. We're number 15. Like Brandon Turner and I remember doing the interview. Like this is what we did back, but the original owners. And so it was, I think do your best to, if you've been around a long time, to prove it. And if you haven't, don't lie. Like, don't lie. Don't BS people. Just say, listen, I've been doing this. I've done 12 deals, but I've learned a lot. Let me share with you. Just be you. Mm-hmm. Don't try to be me. Don't try and be somebody that you're not, because if you do that, you will get sniffed out. But the problem is you're going to hurt somebody's dreams in the process. So don't do that. Just be real.
Yeah. And you brought up a great word, integrity, on the first end, right? You have to have integrity in this business, and you need to do what you say you're going to do. And there's so many different scenarios and situations that I've seen where, people don't follow through with it, right? They don't follow through with that. And then ethics as well. I don't even know if you brought this one up. You need to have a standard of excellence with ethics. Like,
yes,
you must. Otherwise, people will see right through that.
Yeah.
And our industry is so small. It's such a small world that everybody knows everybody. And so it'll go right through. So, everything that you said, Glenn, is spot on. And even in the education space, you got to be truthful about what you've been through on your deals.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've seen it as you've been throughout the years of the different people that have come, especially in the different markets you've seen. Like, Glenn, you've seen 2008. You've seen the pandemic era.
We started in 2007 and sold our first house in 2008. So we've lived through the worst. We know.
Yeah, you've been through the down, the up, and then COVID, and then up. I mean, so you've seen the different people that have come in and out of the industry, and how that time has tested those people's trust, ethics, and integrity, which is a great, valuable information for people to know. And Glenn, the thing that I think you could provide the most value on too is because you've been doing this for 20 plus years. You've been through so many different markets, so many different ups and downs, that your thing is focus on the fundamentals, right?
Yes.
Real estate hasn't changed that much, and it's not going to keep changing, right? Focus on those fundamentals. What are those fundamentals that people need to focus on to make sure they stay the course in real estate?
Yeah, great question. I think that you've got to, first off, you have to decide what it is you want to do. Do you want to, there's active income from flipping houses. And what we teach a lot, people say, oh, home flipping workshop, you always flip. And we do, but we're flipping to find assets to hold. That's really where you want to be. You want your mindset to be there. And that's the fundamental. That's one of the fundamentals of saying, let me get good at the basic skills. And the basic skills in real estate investing, if you don't show up at the table with $5 million to start investing out of the gates, right? Because you have a lot of money, you can do it. Most people that are thinking about investing don't have $5-10 million laying around. And they're saying, how can I start investing? Because I think when they hear the word investing, they think, well, I have to have money to invest. Now you have to have some time and some knowledge to invest. You can turn that into a lot of money. So I think when you first start, you've got to figure out, what are my fundamentals? And we teach 5 fundamentals. We teach how to find, how to fund, how to fix them, how to flip them, and how to hold them. That's the 5 fundamentals. If you just stay focused. Now, is there technology that makes it easier to find off-market deals? Yes. You still have to find them. You still have to talk to people. I don't want to talk to anybody. Well, then get out of your mom's basement. Go. You got to talk to people. You got to close deals. You got to learn some skills, right? I got to fund them. Well, I don't know much about money. We'll learn. Like at our workshop, we teach 14 different ways to fund off-market deals without using your own money. And once you find out how things work, you can do it. And then fixing and flipping. The one thing we teach a lot, though, I think, to build wealth fast is to find off-market deals with what I call instant equity. So meaning Most people think when you buy an investment property, you have to put 20% down because that's what we're taught by banks. Okay, if I want to buy an investment property, my banker says I have to put 20% down. I never put 20% down. Matter of fact, I put 20% in my pocket when I buy the house. People go, huh? I go, right. It's about having the 10,000 plus hours. I probably have 20, 30,000 hours of learning, whatever. And so you learn how to buy houses with instant equity. So you're putting money in your pocket. And that's a fundamental that if you can learn and master that, every deal you start with, you're already ahead. And then as it starts to compound over the next, 10 to 15 years, it will compound at a much greater rate because you've already started with an asset that has equity, if that makes sense. So again, find, fund, fix, flip, and hold are the fundamentals. And I think if you stick with that, again, yes, technology helps a lot, makes marketing easier, makes a lot of things easier if you use it. But don't lose sight of the fact that you still have to buy the house and you still got to fund it. And you still got to fix it and flip it. If you stick with those fundamentals, and you mentioned before, we've been through a lot of market cycles. And I'm thinking about a song that came from the 80s. It said, the more things by a band called Tesla. You probably never heard of them, but it's the more things change, the more they stay the same. And so, yes, the market goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. It always winds up back where it was at a previous point 5-10 years ago. It just keeps doing that, up and down, up and down. And so, just keep an eye on those fundamentals.
It's a great quote. Yeah, I can see that being holding true for you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. So, Glenn, since you've seen so much over years, how have you ensured that your business stays profitable by keeping overhead down, expenses on the lower side? Looking back in these 20 plus years, like, how have you mastered that? Because that is one of the biggest challenges that I've seen big investor teams make, is that they take on all these new people. There's all this payroll. There's all these other expenses. And, they can do deal after deal after deal and be high volume or, and just take on all these deals. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's at a high profit margin.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
How have you ensured that for your team?
So I have not perfected it, and I'll tell you why. I have now, but it took me a while. And I tell you what it is, having the right people. As an entrepreneur, if you're listening to this and you're an entrepreneur, if you're like me, you may not be always great at the details, but you have to have somebody in your corner who is great at the details. In the past few years, you met Meg, right? Meg is my rock. Meg runs my entire operation in New York, and she's been with me for 7 years, and she'll be with me for the next 7 years, next 17 years, next 70 or whatever. She is amazing. She watches the bottom line because I'm not always great at that. That's not something as an entrepreneur we're always great at, because we're always looking at the revenue a lot of times. And if you're an entrepreneur, you know what I'm talking about. Who you're listening right now, you're saying, yeah, I'm looking at the top line, but that doesn't matter. You got to look at the bottom line, but you have to have somebody better than you. So hire where you're weak. Like, find people that complement you. And if you find people that complement you, they can manage that bottom line, that profitability, and tie their compensation into it. So tie their compensation into profitability significantly. So if you win, they win, right? And if you do that and you focus on helping somebody else, again, you can't get what you want in life without helping other people get what they want to get in life. So find a good person that you can work with, and it won't happen overnight. You're going to have to, what's that saying? Kiss a lot of frogs to find your prince, or whatever. So I've definitely made out with a lot of nasty frogs. That's for sure. So just trying to, we've had multiple COO type people that have run our flipping company, and some of them not well. So when I say I failed, when I first moved to Florida, I had a guy that was working it. And it was during COVID, and I thought, well, I was already remote because in New York, we call that Germany in New York, we were stuck in our homes and really confined. So I said, why am I staying here? Let me go to Florida. And so we did. We moved to Florida, and then suddenly the world started opening up. But I kind of forced a guy in that position, like, hey, you could run the company, because I just wanted to feel like, well, he was the wrong guy. And here's the funny story. You may not know this. He came to me, I was only down here for 6 months. He said, I'm going to let Meg go. And I went, Meg? Why? Not a good fit. This, and I'm like, not a good fit. And I was like, I had hired her for my coaching business. That's how she started with me. And I'm like, well, if you're going to do it, I'm going to do it, because I owe Meg that. So I called her and I left her a video message that said, Meg, we're going to ask you to move into a different department and kind of phase you out of this. And I was just nicely letting her go. And she calls me and says, yeah, so that's not going to happen.
No way.
I go, okay. And she says, you're getting fed misinformation. And I said, okay. And I listened, and I realized quickly that she was a great person. Now, it took 3 years to get her back, or 2.5 years to get her in the position of leadership, because I had to let that guy go. I brought another guy in. So she stayed her course. And then when the time came, one day I said, Meg, I think I want you to run the company. She goes, okie doke, and took over and did it. And now we're highly profitable. And, without her, we wouldn't have been that way. Because remember, I'm 1,000 miles south.
Yeah.
I'm on the beach, and she's right now it's up in, freezing cold New York, right? It's 12 degrees or whatever it is. It's crazy. So, but she's handling all the day-to-day operations, so I can focus on the bigger picture right now. But you've got to have good people. Go get a book called Who Not How. That's a fantastic book to help you find the right people. And once you get the right person, get out of their way. Coach them a little bit, guide them, but stop interjecting, stop interrupting when they're doing the right thing.
Amazing. What a story. I've never heard that one before. And what a lesson to learn from that.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you'll have that wrong person that's not in the right spot, and and it trickles down to others. And so thank goodness you had that conversation with her.
Oh, thank God. That's not something I would normally have done. Normally I would say, well, if you're gonna let somebody go ahead. I don't want to because I don't like firing people. I never have liked it. It's one thing I don't like about this. And so, with her, it's like, I was like, no, I kind of have a friendship relationship with her. She's been around for a long time. I got to at least I'm the one that hired her. So let me have that. That was so funny. Yeah. So that's not going to happen. What a great line. I went, never heard that before when I fired somebody. Okay. I got to hear the rest of this story.
Yeah. And talk about a leadership mindset just by that line.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She took a big step up in the pecking order that day. I'm like, okay. So great stuff. And Meg, so you can imagine that conversation, right? So.
Oh yeah. I can already hear her saying that. And I love it. And shout out to her. She was watching this, this is great stuff, Glenn.
She's amazing.
And, it's funny. One of my signature questions is, what do you look for in hires? And so that will just piggyback off this. Are there any certain characteristics? Obviously the leadership component. What were some other ones?
Honestly, depends what role you're looking for. I do like doing the personality tests. I do like those are really important to me to kind of just make sure, because sometimes people portray themselves one way, but really they are not that way. And again, doing the PI, we call it, and that's, we do the PI test. I forgot who puts that out, but there's other ones we do, but we use the PI test. And so then we make sure it's going to be a good fit for that role, because people interview really well. And I've hired, hundreds of people over the years. And so some they interview really well and they get in the job. You're like, you kind of suck. Like, and you're thinking, but you were just really good at interviewing, especially salespeople. Salespeople are great at closing the sale when they're there for their job, but then they don't do the actual grind. So I think it depends on the role that you're looking for, because you got to make sure the personality characteristics and traits match up with that role. Now, I am in a position where I just look for leadership right now. And I'm lucky I have a great team. I'm not doing the hiring necessarily, but I am looking for people that are good in their roles, but that can be self-sufficient, right? I don't want to babysit you. I can't. I live 1,000 miles away, and InvestorPro is a virtually run company. All of my team there is all over the country, all over the world. We have some VAs too, but my marketing director is in Denver, Colorado, and my ops manager is in Lubbock, Texas, and so I'm in Florida, so we're all over the place, and we do our home fleet workshop virtually. So it's a virtual company, but I'm still looking for that strong leader, and I cannot stress enough to hire slow and fire fast. The minute your gut says probably not the right person, I don't pull the ripcord on the first gut feeling, but I monitor it really close. If I have 2 or 3 of those in the course of a couple months, you gotta go, because you will get there eventually. It's just a matter of how much pain you want to endure getting there. But here's what I'll tell you from 30 years of hiring people. Once you find the right person, you'll realize what you were missing all along. And then you'll never hire crap again. You'll always look and say, nah, until you find that right one. You try them, If it doesn't work out, get rid of them fast. But I'm now training Meg. I'm developing her as a leader. I'm investing in her. I'm pouring into her. We have coaches for her. I'm pouring into her to make her just more of an incredible beast that she already is.
Yeah.
My wife always says, "Don't call women beasts." I go, "Well, I don't know. She knows what I mean." But now I'm pouring into her, and now I'm working with her. I'm pouring into her leaders. I'm saying, "Look, trust her with this." Yeah, but I want to do that myself. I know. I want you to trust her. I want you to pour into her like I'm pouring into you. Remember. And I'm always, as an example, say, Meg, now remember, I trusted you from 1,000 miles away. So I need you to start trusting them. We hired the right person. Let them grow. Let them commit to their role. So there's hiring a leader, then developing that leader to develop the leaders. And if you do that, you start to get freedom as an owner. And that's where I'm at in my life.
Yeah. It's very hard to find the right people.
It's like anything in life, finding your mate, it's hard. It's not, but listen, if it was hard, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And that's not what's happening. So
no.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. And great lessons from the great Glenn Schworm, right? This is what it's about. You've been through it, you've done it, and you continue to see it, and you're developing leaders and finding leaders out there. That's huge.
Yeah.
Glenn, a lot of entrepreneurs, whatever stage they're at, deal with hardships or deal with very difficult situations in their job, in their business. Right now, where you are in your business, right now in your career, what would you say is the hardest part of your job?
That's a good question. I can tell you what was recently the hardest thing, if that would help.
Yeah.
The most recent thing that was very difficult, and this might sound a little strange if you've never been through this, so bear with me. Learning that the company can run without me almost threw me into a funk. Like, wow, you dream of having a company that runs without you. Then it starts to, and you're like, I don't have purpose anymore. Like, I lose my purpose. And I went into a funk, and I realized that other people I know in other masterminds, same conversation. They're like, dude, I went to this. I go, really? I thought I was a freak for losing my, like, no, I had the same problem. Like, I went to this funk, like, they don't need me anymore. What am I going to do? It's crazy. I don't know how to explain it to you, but it's a real thing. You're like, it's like when you reach a dream and you're like, this is all there is? Like, it doesn't feel right. So that was a very strange thing that I went through, was just accepting the fact that I've reached a certain level where my team can do it without me. I keep wanting to interject, and they're like, no, we're good. We're good. And so that's probably the most difficult thing that I went through recently, was just figuring out my role and then finding a new purpose. And I literally found a new purpose when we have some big goals we're with our companies. And so I found some new purpose there. My new purpose is really developing my leaders within, like really spending time with them instead of thinking about the business every day, thinking about them. Let me tell you another funny Meg story. You'll like this. To give you an idea of the culture that I built. As a visionary, which is my position in life, I dream up things and I have ideas. Now, if you're listening and you're a visionary, you know who you are. You got to be careful not to derail your leaders when you have ideas, because we do that as leaders. We misdirect them all the time on new direction. They get lost. So Meg and I have an understanding. She knows what the task is, where we're going. So one day, not too long ago, I text her with this idea. I leave her a voicemail. I go, Meg, got this idea. Leave her a voicemail. I don't even remember what it was. Just some random idea. And I think at the time it's gold. It's the best idea ever. And so I leave her the idea on the phone, and she texts me back. She texts me back 3 words: take a nap. so I bust out laughing, because that's our relationship. Like, she knew to tell me to go take a nap, right? But again, that's where my relationship, what I told before, that funk that we talked about, it was like, Now they still need me, because we had this really good heart-to-heart. She said, Glenn, I still need you to come to the meetings once in a while. I say, the team needs to know who you are, because there's people are being hired that I don't know. It's an odd feeling to be like, I never met that person before. And I go back to New York. I take them out to lunch now, and I'm like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. Like, it's weird, because I wasn't part of their hiring process or anything, but that's what I always dreamed about. So now I have to pour myself, and my passion is to help my leaders in my companies become the best they can be, so they can live amazing lives too. That's my new passion in life, and that's what drives me. But I had to find that by getting knocked down a little bit, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I get what you're talking about, because I haven't seen that part yet, but because
Yeah.
I'm still in the business myself,
Yeah.
but I can understand what you're talking about with purpose. And all of a sudden it's like they're doing it without you, and you got to find that other passion that drives you.
Yeah.
And then you did. And being able to now follow that, I mean, that's driving you every day. That's helping you get up in the morning. It's getting you excited, right?
Yeah. If you
And
don't feel needed, it's not a great feeling. Now, I am still needed. I just was telling myself a story. I was telling myself a story like, well, they don't need me anymore. And Meg's like, no, we do. We just don't need you in the day-to-day stuff.
yeah,
And I was very transparent with Meg. I said, look, I'm trying to figure out who I am. Over the past year, I'm like, I'm trying to figure out who I am, because all of a sudden I don't know who I am anymore. I used to be the guy that ran the office. Now you're in my desk looking at my 210-gallon fish tank in front of you full of saltwater fish. I don't know who. I used to have a private bath. I don't have anything. I'm in my home now. I don't understand. I don't know. Who am I? Right.
yeah.
So it was a strange dynamic, but a great dynamic, just strange dynamic.
Yeah. Wow. It's crazy. We love these stories too. Like
Yeah.
they're relatable to people that are going through it, similar stories. Glenn, what advice would you give to new or seasoned investors out there, whether it relates to business, teams, real estate? I mean, you can choose from any of those categories. What would be that best Glenn advice for people out there?
I would tell you, no matter what you choose in life, that the bigger the goal, the harder it's going to be. And so I think you prepare yourself for that mentally going in. The only way you fail is to give up and quit. It's the only way. I'm a huge Rocky fan. I don't know if your generation likes Rocky, but I'm a huge Rocky fan, right? So, knock down the canvas, back up, knock down, back up. Ivan Drago, knock down, back up. Whatever it is, the last one that came out, I love it, because that's the only way. This is a famous quote by him. That's the only way winning is done, right? You have to keep taking the punches, and you're gonna take punches, and sometimes the punches. Look, I've had tears, I've had sobbing, I've had, even recently, I mean, there's times when I'm not hitting the mark on things and I think I'm failing. And keep a good perspective in your life and know that the only way you fail is to quit. So do not quit on your goal. And if you have to alter your goal because you realize that maybe that's not quite what I wanted to do, that's okay. That's not a quit. But if you say, I'm okay with my job, don't lie to yourself. Like, don't lie to yourself. If you have a goal, stick with it, but stick with it no matter what, because the only way you don't get it is to quit. It might take you 20 years, but you know what? I say it at my workshops all the time. Real estate investing or any type of goal you want to go after is going to be hard work, but it's going to be worth it. All the new rules online make it seem like everything's easy, and it's not. And I'm probably not popular because I say, hey, this is going to be hard. And some people are like, huh? I go, if you came for a get-rich-quick scheme, you got the wrong meeting. There's plenty of guys who'll tell you it's easy. It's not easy. Yeah, but I have AI. I don't get you have AI. It's not. That doesn't make it easy. It makes it a little smoother in some areas, but you're still going to get knocked around and deals are going to fall apart. And you've got to keep yourself mentally strong. So I'll kind of end that thought with this. You have to find a way for you that inspires you. You have to get around. I would pump your head full of books, podcasts like this. I would get in front of YouTube channels. For us, we have all of our students that come work with us. We give them a peak performance coach because our tagline in our company is Vestor Pro, a real estate of mind. Because I know that 80% of your success comes here. 20% is the mechanics to get the money out. But if you can monitor and you can manage your thoughts and manage your level of, it's not just positivity. Because if somebody said to you, where do you think the most success comes from? Thinking more positive thoughts or thinking less negative thoughts? It's less negative thoughts because we've all got negative thoughts in our head. So we've got to figure out how do I deal with those? Hire coaches, right? Do what you have to do to protect. That's the most important real estate you're ever going to own, is right there between your temples. And if you can manage that and never quit, you'll reach every goal you want to reach. And you can do it being happy and not being miserable.
I love all this. I could hear Glenn for hours. I wish you could keep going on and on and on about this, because it's such valuable advice. It's such practical advice, and it's real, right? It's
Yeah.
what people need to hear, not that they want to hear. That's what they need to hear. And
Yeah.
with so many of the listeners and viewers that are in real estate, no matter what markets they're in, they're running businesses, they're doing real estate deals, they're running teams, high volume teams, one team, or maybe just doing it themselves. And there's so many lessons to learn from somebody that's been doing it for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And up and down, and different team members, different markets, different market conditions, and that's what I love about you, Glenn. That's why I wanted you on the show. I knew you brought that, and you did exactly what I thought. And this is perfect. This is what we needed to hear. So, Glenn, if anybody needs to get in touch with you, how do they do it?
I would say look us up on Facebook. Look up Glenn and Amber Schworm on Facebook. That's the best way to just find us there. You type Glenn and Amber, you'll find a bazillion ways. But Facebook, just you can private message me or DM me. Wherever they say that is now, whatever, private message. So yeah, I'd be happy to reach out to anybody who needs help and any questions or anything like that. Feel free. Again, people don't take me up on that very often, but we'd love to help wherever we can. So that's our mission. We kind of have a new tagline: is make the rest of your life the best of your life. So that's kind of our new thing. So however we can help you do that, we'd love to do it.
That's fantastic. And yes, over time, I have people that'll say, "Hey, I heard your episode. I heard your episode." People are listening and watching. So
Yeah.
I hope people reach out to Glenn. He brings this knowledge, and it's just a valuable resource right there.
Yeah.
Glenn, so amazing having you on the show. Love getting to see you at the masterminds all the time, and I can't wait for the next one, because there's just a power to what you're able to bring, and it's fantastic.
Yeah,
Glenn, as I do with all my guests at the end of the show, I do a segment called Final Words, Final Thoughts. Any lasting impression? Final words, final thoughts, Glenn Schworm.
Gosh, final words. I think I kind of already said it, but I just would say whatever your goal is in life, make sure that you stay the course. Don't quit, no matter what. Again, take care of yourself mentally, because that's the number one part of the game. I would say make sure that you are following Mr. Al Nicoletti, because he's amazing. The dude is crazy great, and his energy is infectious, which I love. I always feed off energy in my speakers or people that I'm working with. So you're fantastic. So yeah. And keep yourself on the best people. I mean, you are going to become like the top 5 people you associate with, income wise, thought wise. Get yourself around the best people, whether it be masterminds, wherever you go. When you're around all of your friends, if you are the smartest guy and the most successful guy or girl in the room, then that's never going to change for you. And if you feel strong in that position, that's not a great position to be in life. You want to be the one that comes in learning from the 5 other people in the room, so you can elevate your game. And when you do, your thoughts will be so different. You will be hanging around people that talk about tens of millions, hundreds of millions. And not that money is the end all be all. It's not what you need to keep score by. But if you're around happy people or better parenting people, wherever you want to be, get around those people and just build relationships. They want to help most of the time. So get around them, because you will become like the people that you associate with. I'm not saying abandon your friends. I've got friends I've had for 40 years, my best friends, and I love them, but we don't think the same when it comes to how we live life. They know very clearly they won't derail me, but I still love them, but I still have other friends that help me elevate my game. So that'd be my final advice. Get around the people you want to be like, and just watch your life change. But give it time, because time takes time.
Great stuff, Glenn. Glenn, thank you so much for coming on the show. We love working with you. We love working with you and Megan. And I can't wait to see you soon, my friend.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. Great stuff. Great stuff. Thank you. You do a great job, man.
Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate you. I'll see you soon.
Okay.
All right, everybody. All right, we did it. Another one in the books. Man, what an episode. I mean, we bring on people that will talk about different things in our real estate industry. You name it, right? But when we are able to have on a Glenn Schworm that can bring that advice, that practical advice, that the stuff that we need to hear as entrepreneurs, as business owners, not just real estate deals, but we all are running businesses. Whether it's a law firm, whether it's a real estate company, it's all stuff that is practical for us. And having that experience is just incredible to have. So Glenn, he talked about it. If you missed any of this episode, go back, check it out, scan the QR code at the bottom of the screen. You'll find all of our content. And it's another one in the books, another Wednesday night. We will see you next Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it. You want to tune in. It's going to be another banger. We'll see you then, everybody. Have a great night. Take care.